Welcome back to our channel. Today I will introduce you an extremely unique and attractive American action movie called Iron Man 2. The main character is Tony Stark. Stark is a superstar and a superhero in everyone's eyes. Not only that, but he is also a brilliant scientific inventor when he created an iron suit to protect the world. His father, Mr. Howard, was also a brilliant scientific inventor, but died of old age. That's why Stark decided to rebuild the Stark Expo to inherit the career of his old father. Now in Russia all the media are reporting about Stark revealing his identity that he is Iron Man. There is a character who is also watching the news. This man with long hair and a mustache looks very cool is Ivan. He is a Russian scientist. His father, Anton Vanko, is a former employee of the company Stark Expo. He and Stark's father successfully invented the arc reactor together, but Anton tried to sell it for a profit, so he was deported to Russia. When he heard the news, he was so angry that it led to his death. Seeing his old father die, Ivan suffered and held a grudge in his heart. He is determined to invent technology similar to Stark's arc reactor and build his own weapons to avenge his father. 6 months later, during the event of Iron Man in Washington, Stark was invited to attend. The government forced him to hand over the iron armor technology because it was a weapon that threatened the security of the country. But it's not that easy to take away Stark's work. He resisted the government's call with a series of evidence that his armor had helped the people. He said, "I am making double the security of the country." When he said this, everyone was excited and supported Stark. The government can't do anything. At the same time, Ivan successfully created a weapon with an electric whip to take revenge on Stark. Stark seems to be not doing very well. In order for the arc reaction to remain energized for a long time in his chest, Stark must use palladium, a toxic metal that directly threatens his health and life. He was alone against everything while his time was slowly running out, counting on every battery. Becoming increasingly depressed about his impending death, Stark decided not to tell anyone about his situation. This beautiful woman is Stark's girlfriend and personal assistant, named Pepper. He appointed Pepper to be the executive director of the company Stark Expo, which made her both shocked and delighted. To celebrate her promotion, they drank wine together. He also told Pepper to find him another personal assistant to take her place. The next day, Pepper brought him a sexy girl. Her name is Natalie, very beautiful, talented and good at martial arts. This fat guy is Stark's bodyguard and chauffeur. He wanted to test Natalie's level but unfortunately he was defeated in the first second. The next day, at the Formula 1 race in Monaco, Stark hid Pepper to compete. He drives a car manufactured by the Stark Corporation. Taking it as the last pleasure of life, despite putting himself in danger, he entered the game with excitement. Unexpectedly, Ivan knew about the race through some relationships. He planned to attack Stark with his own modified armor equipped with an electric whip. Ivan quickly appeared on the race and attacked the racers to provoke Stark. A fierce battle took place. Soon after, Stark was hit by Ivan's electric whip, causing him to fall down. Realizing her boyfriend was in danger, Pepper began to worry. At that moment, the bodyguard Hogan brought the Mark V armor. They tried to bring this armor to Stark. Stark put on his armor and fought Ivan. The fight is so intense. In the end, Ivan was defeated by Stark, but his armor was also badly damaged. Ivan was locked in prison. Stark comes to him to ask why he wants to kill him. He said it because he wanted to avenge his father and also to prove that the armor was not invincible. He also tells Stark that he is just a loser because palladium is slowly seeping into his body and he doesn't have much longer to live. Hearing that, he quietly walked out of the room. This guy is Justin Hammer, a competitor of Stark. Very impressed with Ivan's performance in the race, he helped Ivan fake his death by giving him a bomb hidden in a food tray and sending someone else into the cell to die in his stead. At that time someone gave him the key. Ivan started detonating the bomb. All exploded in a second. As soon as he got out of prison, Ivan was taken to see Justin Hammer. Justin asks Ivan to work with him to build an armor suit production line to defeat Stark. But instead of saying yes or no, he told Justin that he wanted his parrot, and Justin agreed to get him back. The next day Justin took Ivan to visit his production line and told him to stay here and work on the new armor. He said that he will take care of everything else, making sure Ivan wouldn't be discovered. Walking around and watching for a while, Ivan approached iron armor and then suddenly bluntly jerked his head away and looked at it, that making Justin stunned and speechless. That night was Stark's birthday, and the palladium in his chest seemed to be getting worse. Natalie helped him make up to cover the bruises on his face. In what was supposed to be his last birthday party, Stark donned his Mark IV armor to jubilate the whole party that eventually led to his drunkenness. Pepper tried to convince him to stop the party, but couldn't. Helpless, Pepper had to call the Black Eye. His name was Rhodes, lieutenant colonel and also a close friend of Stark. If you can't stop it, you have to take such strong measures. Lieutenant Colonel Rhodes wore a prototype of Stark's Mark II armor and tried to restrain his friend. At this moment, there is something good to watch. A fierce battle broke out. Two best friends fought each other, destroying the whole building. In the end, the battle ended in a stalemate. That's why Rhodes confiscated the Mark II armor for the U.S. Air Force. The next morning, Stark sat on the giant cake, sipping a few sips of wine to make life easier. At that moment, a tall, black, one-eyed man appeared. His name was Nick Fury, the director of the S.H.I.E.L.D. Corporation. He reveals that Natalie is the agent Romanoff who founded S.H.I.E.L.D. with him and was sent by him to get close to Stark. The most unique thing is that Fury said he would help Stark find a new element to replace palladium. As for Justin, he brought Ivan the parrot just as Ivan requested and saw how Ivan proceeded with the new armor. Instead of making manned armor, Ivan invented a series of iron robots without a driver, which surprised Justin. One fine day, Fury gave Stark some old documents from his father and told him to study them and they would have what he needed in them. After Lieutenant Colonel Rhodes delivered the armor to the U.S. Air Force, he was ordered to bring it to Justin to equip him with state-of-the-art firepower to prepare for the upcoming exhibition of the armor. Justin displayed a series of advanced weapons that he had, guns that looked good but still didn't suit the lieutenant colonel. In the end, Justin offered a kind of firepower that he called his ex-wife. No wonder Lieutenant Colonel Rhodes chose his ex-wife right away. Stark reviewed his father's old documents and began to research. Seeing old videos of his father made him somewhat flutter. Suddenly missing his girlfriend, he drove a white car to see her, and on the way bought her a box of strawberries. Unfortunately, his girlfriend is allergic to strawberries and angry about the birthday party, so he is flatly rejected by her. Meanwhile, he found a paradigm in the room. When he discovered something, he brought the model back to study. Stark discovers a hidden message in the diorama of the 1974 Stark Expo, which proves to be a diagram of the atomic structure of a new element. With the help of his artificial intelligence, he successfully synthesized the new element after days of effort. Ivan and Justin have also prepared their robot armor for the exhibition. By the next day, Ivan directly called and actively declared war on Stark. Stark quickly traced the phone signal to Ivan's location. Upon learning that Ivan was still alive, Stark placed the new element in his arc reactor and ended his dependence on palladium. At the expo, Justin showed samples of Ivan's armored robots, including Corps, Navy, Air Force, and even Marines. At the helm was Lieutenant Colonel Rhodes, leading in a weaponized version of the prototype armor. At that moment, Stark flew in Mark VI armor to warn Rhodes that he had fallen into Ivan's trap. But it's too late. Ivan has taken control of all of Rhodes's drones and armor remotely to focus on attacking Stark. From this moment, a fierce battle occurs, inviting you to watch the following great counterattacks. Ivan sent out troops continuously. Stark alone, but he also destroys quite a few of Ivan's soldiers. Justin seemed to want to explain something, but was immediately grabbed by the beautiful Romanoff and forced him to reveal Ivan's whereabouts. With that said, Romanoff and Stark's bodyguard Hogan, go to Justin's factory to find Ivan. In the car, from a beautiful girl, Romanoff transformed into a very cool spy that surprised Hogan. Upon reaching Justin's factory, Romanoff has a martial arts performance that proves herself to be extremely powerful. She single-handedly defeated a group of guards at the door. While Hogan had only defeated one, there was a hint of pride in his expression. When he reached Ivan's office, he escaped, but Romanoff returned control of Rhodes' armor to him. Stark and Rhodes apologize to each other for everything that happened, and together they make a plan of action. Soon after, Ivan's unmanned army arrived. Stark used the power of the new element in one shot to destroy all of his drones. At the same time, Justin was also arrested for saving Ivan from prison. After exterminating all the robots, Ivan officially appeared with his electric whip armor. Lieutenant Rhodes used a weapon named after Justin's ex-wife, but it was destroyed in an instant. Once again, the fierce battle happened. This time it was over. The two sides were equally talented, but, as the main character, Stark quickly defeated Ivan. Ashamed of himself, Ivan commits suicide by blowing up his suit, along with the defeated drones. Suddenly realizing Pepper was still waiting for me at the exhibition, Stark did not hesitate to fly to rescue his girlfriend. The war was over. The two were both happy and worried about each other. The two hugged and kissed each other passionately. In an interview, Fury informed Stark that, because of his unapproachable personality, S.H.I.E.L.D. sees him only as a mentor. Stark and Rhodes received medals for their heroic deeds. My movie ends here and I'll see you guys in the next movie. This is the end of the movie. See you in the next movie. Thank you for watching the movie.